Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. We have got a big video for you guys today. The Chelsea news is that we are no longer being hijacked. We are hijacking Manchester City and their pursuit of Cucurella from Brighton. Left wing back, left centre back. We're going to talk about that today. Thomas Tuchel also wants Josko Gvardiol from RB Leipzig. Also, Wesley Fofana. Will we get all three of these players? I highly doubt it. Koulibaly is already at Chelsea. Two of them, though, I think will be coming through the door. Timo Werner is wanted by RB Leipzig on loan with an option to buy. We're going to discuss all three of these deals today, how they tie in together, which ones do we want, and then obviously asking for you guys to let me know in the comments down below what you think. First of all, of Marc Cucurella, 23 years old. He might be 24. Might have got that one wrong. But Cucurella, last season, was one of the standout performers, maybe even the standout defensive performer from outside of the top six. Brighton wanted 50 million. Manchester City only wanted to go in with 40 million. Chelsea are willing to pay the 50 million. And there is a little caveat that I do want to discuss here. And that caveat is the inclusion and involvement in this deal of Levi Colwill, who I personally believe could end up being a Chelsea captain. I've watched a lot of him. He's a brilliant, brilliant defender. And Chelsea are willing to offer Levi Colwill as part of this deal. The issue I have is if it is we give Colwill to Brighton to lower the fee, I think we might end up regretting just how good this defender's going to become. Yes, with Chelsea, there will probably be a buyback clause of sorts. But if it is a loan to Brighton with Cucurella coming the other way, then I think this is exceptional business for Chelsea. If we talk about Levi Colwill specifically for a second, I think Colwill is going to be a top-class defender. Yes, we only saw him in the Championship last season. So to firmly believe that he's going to be ready to make the significant step to Premier League football for a team looking and desiring to challenge for the Premier League title, I think that is incredibly bold. Yes, on the flip side, we have got two of the most experienced, best defenders in world football in Thiago Silva and also Koulibaly at the club, which the lessons and the guidance from these two players will be invaluable to the development of Levi Colwill as a centre-back. But in order for Chelsea to get this deal over the line, talks, as I'm recording this right now, which is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon Bali time, 7 a.m. in the UK. I'm hoping you guys will see this within the hour of me recording this. It's always the target I set for myself for uploading these videos and editing them. So with this, if Cucurella signs for Chelsea, what do I think this means for Ben Chilwell? Don't really think it means anything. I think it means we have got a really top-level Premier League left wing-back as a backup to Ben Chilwell if, touch wood, God forbid, I hope it doesn't happen, an injury similar to what we saw last season happens again. But what I think is really interesting about Cucurella is his ability to play left centre-back. He did it against Chelsea last season and wasn't just, I think he was probably the best player on the pitch, particularly in the game at Stamford Bridge. So Cucurella at left centre-back, overlapping runs around Ben Chilwell, brilliant in tight positions, passing the ball, breaking the lines, which is also something that Koulibaly does so incredibly well. All of a sudden, it's looking as though if Cucurella does in fact come through, which it looks as though it's going to happen, maybe even today, Chelsea will agree personal terms and the fee and everything else with Brighton for Marc Cucurella. I think seeing Cucurella in the left centre-back position is what we would see if this deal is to go through. I think when we look at Josko Gvardiol, 20 years old, Leipzig won Werner, that one looks realistic. Brendan Rodgers is insisting that Leicester City don't want to sell Wesley Fofana. 50 million for Cucurella. You look at the 75, 80 million that Leicester City might want for Wesley Fofana. You're looking at 130 million there with Timo Werner supposedly looking for a way out, potentially going to Leipzig. It probably would mean that Chelsea still are in for a striker. As I said in yesterday's video, we want Harry Kane, or there's interest in Harry Kane, according to German reporter Christian Falk. Is that one going to be possible with the kind of fee that Spurs would absolutely demand if they're ever going to let Harry Kane join Chelsea? I think that would make a striker signing such as Harry Kane near impossible. So Cucurella, I think this is a brilliant signing. I think he is an exceptional footballer. I think probably playing at Brighton doesn't quite highlight just how good he could be. Imagine next to him, no disrespect to Brighton's defence, I think Brighton are a top team now after I got my prediction wrong last season, but playing alongside Silva, Koulibaly, I think this could be massive for his development. And I think whether it is wing-back backup or to be used in that left centre-back position, Chelsea's defence with a player like this is immediately starting to look like a title potential defence. You know, nobody can turn their nose up at Reece James, right wing-back, Ben Chilwell, left wing-back, Koulibaly, Silva, Cucurella, Edouard Mendy behind him and say that is not a team capable of challenging for the Premier League. Yes, we've got to sort out our attack. We've got to sort things out going forward. Sterling's come in. Will there be another attacking signing? I think this is a brilliant piece of business for Chelsea. But we move. There is still more speculation about other defenders. I want to talk a little bit about Josko, Gvardiol. Thomas Tuchel wants this player, is what we're understanding right now. So, how could this one potentially pan out? Chelsea, if they're spending 50 mil on Cucurella, we're not going to be wanting to throw masses of cash at this Gvardiol deal. So with Timo Werner being wanted by RB Leipzig, with Werner probably being open to the move back to his former club in Germany, even if it is a loan and Chelsea don't receive funds this year for Timo Werner going the other way, this one certainly at this point seems a little bit more feasible than the pursuit of Wesley Fofana. The issue with Wesley Fofana at this moment in time is Chelsea want him, Thomas Tuchel wants him, but Leicester City are not budging on the 85 million valuation. Brendan Rodgers insists that Fofana will not be going anywhere. So I think with Cucurella coming through the door, that's one more centre-back. We said we needed 3, right? And if Colwill is part of the deal that brings Cucurella to Chelsea and Colwill ends up either on loan or hopefully not permanently to Brighton, then I think we've got to anticipate that only one of Josko Gvardiol, who's 20 years old, and Wesley Fofana, who is also incredibly young, but Premier League proven, injury prone. That's the problem. Which one of these two defenders would you rather see Chelsea sign in the next coming days? I think if we can get 2 of these deals done defensively before we kick off the season away at Everton, I will very, very quickly become a lot more confident. I've been a bit nervous in the past couple of weeks with some of the pre-season performances, some of the comments from Thomas Tuchel, but I think it's important again, as we round off these stories, 3 defenders here today, I think it's very important that we acknowledge the way that Chelsea have attempted to move in this window. We have actually gone out and tried to buy players, which was my biggest fear when Todd Boehly took over was, are we actually going to see us go for people? Yes, we've not managed to achieve our top target, so it looks a bit erratic from Chelsea, chopping and changing between going for Jules Koundé and now we're going for Marc Cucurella, but Chelsea have been linked to Cucurella before. Chelsea have wanted Cucurella before Todd Boehly was even in the discussion as to who was going to take over at Chelsea Football Club. So, going to wrap this one up here. I'm excited about Cucurella. I really think he's a top level player. I think Chelsea also need to start looking more at Premier League proven players as opposed to just going for names from different leagues or risking it, because you never know how that transitional period's going to go through. And at this point where we still do need to strengthen in other areas, in my opinion, I think we need a striker. Buying players now with Premier League experience, considering we don't have a pre-season with the whole squad together, that bedding in period is quicker. It gives us more time to try and figure out the best 11. Can Cucurella really fit in that left centre-back position? I think he will. And I think Fofana and Cucurella would make this defensive rebuild absolutely outstanding. Barcelona is still keen on Alonso and Azpilicueta. That one could still go through. So Cucurella coming in, we don't need to worry about that anymore. If we don't manage to offload Alonso, having Alonso, Emerson, Cucurella and Chilwell seems like a real mess. So maybe we see Marcus Alonso as a Chelsea striker after all. If Barcelona don't somehow manage to pull this one out of the hat, let me know your thoughts on all three of the defenders mentioned today. Cucurella looks as though it is almost done. Time to get excited maybe. Till we hear the here we go though, I'm pensive. I think it's the right word at this moment in time. Subscribe to GBFC if you're new around here and haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you think Cucurella's going to be the man. I'll see you guys later. Come on, you Blues.